Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Don Shade.
Hello, my friend and future millionaire. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Don Shade. Now, in the last few episodes, we've handled how to talk to customers and make sure you're approachable, and how to handle a compliment, things like that, things that are going to draw people to you. Now, one of the things that I hear from students all the time is they hate selling and they hate being in a sales business. Well, when you put somebody behind a computer screen, they're brave enough to be able to learn to write emails that sell and do things for their website or their funnel that's going to make sales for them. But you know what? I like to make sure that people know how to handle themselves out in the real world when they're not in front of a computer. In other words, when somebody's talking to you about what you do you know enough that instead of trying to sell them, you can steer them in a direction where it's a very logical decision for them to work with you? That's the difference between helping people and selling people a product. And the way you do that is this. It all comes down to the seeds you plant and the questions you ask. Remember how I said in a previous episode when somebody asked me, "What do you do?" And I say to them, "Well, I help people make money while they sit in front of their TV set." What have I just done? I've made an open-ended comment that allows the person to think to themselves, well, I could do that. Tell me more about what you do. Well, I help people build online businesses. Do you have a computer? Yeah, I got a laptop. I'm on it all the time. Well, how would you like to make some lazy boy money? You know what lazy boy money is? And they're going to say no. And I say, well, that's money you make while you're sitting in your recliner. Because one of the big recliner manufacturers is Lazy Boy. And they start thinking about that. Now, here's the issue. Have I sold anybody anything? No. I'm steering them in a direction that it makes them think. What happens is they get to the point, well, I would be interested in talking to you. And you've sold nothing. All you've done is gave a couple of key statements that made somebody think, and they start thinking, wow, I could do what you do. And the answer is, yeah, you could, and so can everybody else. The problem is they don't realize it. It is your job to open their eyes and make them think that they can also do what you do. And you're there to show them the way. And that's exactly how I've got a lot of customers, because I've learned how to talk to people in a way that makes them think about their position. It has nothing to do with my product. It's what they can do for themselves. And I've had people come straight out and ask me, Don, when can we sit down over a coffee and talk? And, I'm interested in what you do. And that's how you want to be. You don't want to feel like you're selling to somebody. You want to feel like you're talking to them about what you do, and they've made a decision because they're showing interest in doing the same thing as you. They want to make money online. So what I'd like for you to do is, at some point today, sit down and take 5 or 10 minutes and think about the key statements that you could make, not about your product or all the good things that you do, but just open-ended statements that would be able to make your customer think, how would this product work for me? Or the main thing is they need to see themselves in a position that you're in. I could do the same thing as this guy. Especially whenever this guy and his team are willing to show me how to do it. I've always said that I'm nothing great. I built a great team around me. And you'll hear me brag that I'm the dumbest guy on the team. When it comes to all the technical stuff and all that, I have people that handle all that stuff. I don't do any of it. It's my job to have the big vision. It's my job to move the business forward. But I do what I'm good at, and I let the team handle the rest. I have people that have a great skill set, and I let them do what they're good at, and together we build an awesome business. You can do the same thing. What you need to do is convince other people that you can show them how to do what you've done in creating a business for them. That's everything I have for today's episode of The Money Wheel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.